Alright, here we are. I'm gonna review a Pakistani made shoe and see how it compares with the international brands and the local brands out here. So, I'll let you know which company the shoe comes from later on in this video. But for now, I want you to see that this shoe is handmade, right? And the construction used on this is Japanese hand welt. So it is a handmade shoe. It's hand welted, and in the hand welting, there's a specific type of hand welt called Japanese hand welt, which is the finest of them all. So this is made in Pakistan by a Pakistani guy, and I came back from Canada. I got into the Goodyear welted and stitched down kind of shoes, and then when I came to Pakistan, I was like, I wanted to try out. I wanted to see if Pakistan makes these kind of shoes, and I found a reference on Reddit who recommended me this company, and then I reached out to them, and this was made to order. Placed an order, gave me a design, asked me which leather do I want to use in this one, and so I went for like the calf leather. He told me that this is Italian calf. So basically, I think he uses Pakistani leather, which he says is pretty good as well. I mean, obviously not compared to international brands like Horveen or like Italian and French tanneries, but good enough for the price range. So on my request, he had some Italian calf leather sitting with him, so we just used that one. So yeah, I just wanted to. I didn't have time. I got this a few months ago. I didn't have time to wear these or then review these properly, but yeah, now I do, and it's kind of like an unboxing kind of video, you can say, without the box. So I want you to see first by yourself, like the leather used on this. Okay. So now, what I think is the creasing is good. It's not like it doesn't seem a corrected kind of leather. It does seem like top grain, not full grain, but generally speaking, I do feel that the leather does have potential. And another thing you have to note is, because I'm not into dress shoes that much, so I'm not completely familiar with the leathers they use. I am kind of getting into it. This is certainly not the top tier leather, and I'll show you in a minute. I'll not compare it to the best leather I have. I'll compare it to Allen Edmonds, American made. Even their reputation is not super good right now. Their quality has dropped. So I'm gonna show you the shoe I bought in the last 6 to 8 months. With this shoe, compare those both shoes so you can understand the leather. So here's my Allen Edmonds, and you can see the leather here. So both these shoes are polished by Sapphire wax polish, and you can see, right? So I don't know if there's like a finishing difference. I mean, I can't pass comments on this shoe like accurately, because this guy is doing patina finishes, like artificial patina. He paints them, hand paints them. So maybe the leather he uses the crust leather. So I mean, this one is a black one. So I'm not sure if it's a black crust leather or if it's just a top grain leather. So I don't know, because you see, like this is polished as well. This takes the polish super nicely. It's a dress shoe. This is supposed to be like a dressy kind of like casual shoe because of its open lacing, derby style. But I want you to compare both the pairs. So one is polished and one is not, right? So you see, this one is not polished, this one is. So in real, like, this looks a lot more dull compared to this one. So personally, like, I think that this brand, if you get this shoe, I think you should put a wax polish on it if you want a more dressy look. Obviously he makes other shoes and does patina finishes and all that kind of stuff, and which they look really nice, really promising. This particular design kind of exposes the leather more because it's all the way, it's a single piece of leather used on all of it. So I mean, even the best of the best shoemakers wouldn't be able to like get the best perfect leather on the whole shoe, unless it's a proper dress shoe brand like Spanish or UK brands which do whole cut Oxfords. But anyways, coming to the point. Now, what are the cons of this shoe? Again, I'm not in a position to comment, but I can definitely say that it's obviously, if you compare this to the top tier brands, of course the difference is in the leather quality and the finishing, the minor finishing. But even then, honestly speaking, I still think that the finishing is top notch. There is space to improve definitely, but as you can see, the finishing is very fine. I personally think, like, I'm not an expert. I just got into shoes a while ago, and then I'm just like, um, trying to learn about shoes. So I think the stitching on this, everything is super fine compared to the price point. I'm gonna get to that soon, and especially the last. I think, I don't know if it's 2 inch or 2.5 inches, but it's very sleek. The last is very sleek. It's hard to find a beautiful last. So the best thing about it is the last, the shape, right? I got into the cons, I'm going to the pros. The best thing is it's made to order. You can, there are other like types of leathers you can use, colors or whatever. Um, the wait time is around 15-20 days, and now it comes in two stitching qualities. One is simple hand welting, and one is Japanese hand welt. So this guy can do both. I do not know, I can't see, I can't tell, I am not an expert at that. But I can definitely say that this is closed channel stitching. Now I don't know that if that applies to Japanese hand welts or hand welts. I don't know, but what I mean by that is I don't even know if the hand welting is different from the normal stitching, the machine stitching. But normally on higher end shoes, you also see like there's stitching going across here if they're supposed to be Goodyear belted and stuff. But this one is just all closed, so it looks neat and clean. So I mean, be it the characteristic of hand welting or Japanese hand welting, it's really refined, so you can't tell if there's any stitching over here, right? It's all very close to the leather. So that's the best part of the shoe, and it's made to order. And what else? The leather. So the leather is calf leather. It's like as promised. He did give the exact leather which he promised. I mean, obviously the quality is not top tier. It's, I could say, like mid tier. But it is like proper leather. It's not the genuine leather you hear about by leather brands, especially in Pakistan. Even brands like Coach, they use this term genuine leather. So wherever they say genuine leather, I mean, not all of them are good quality leather. So I wouldn't rely on that term. So whenever you're getting into this kind of stuff, you need to know what are you getting. So this is calf leather. That's why its creasing should be very. It has a tighter grain. It has to take polish really well, and it has to be more reflective, and the creasing has to be really fine. So I have no issues with the creasing, right? So it's good so far. I didn't wear them much. I just like wore them inside the house. So that's that. Now for the price and the quality, and the value. I got this for 53,000 Pakistani rupees a few months ago. That's around like maybe 260 or 50 Canadian dollars. For that value, I think it's priced a little bit maybe higher. Not sure. As I said, I can't comment on that because when you bring the hand welting process in it, and Japanese hand welting, that's like the top tier of like finishing in shoes, especially when it's a handmade. So if you get this same shoe from like a brand which does hand welting, Japanese hand welting, they might charge you over $3,000 to $4,000 just for this shoe. Of course, the leather is gonna be far like superior, and the finishing is gonna be a little bit better. But at the same time, the price is gonna skyrocket. So I mean, even for 250, the reason I'm saying it's a bit more is because the leather does not justify the welt, because the welting is superior to the leather. So I feel like if the leather was a bit better on this, it would justify kind of stitching and the finishing done on this. The other tier he offers is the one priced at 38,000 rupees. That's around 190 Canadian dollars. This is all including tax. And that one is simple hand welting. I did not see the finishing on that, but I still think that it's going to be close enough to this. Strength wise, Japanese hand welt and hand welt is, I think, almost similar. The only difference would be maybe the finishing and the refinement. Again, don't know too much about these things, but that's my opinion. But I still think that if you are getting the shoe for 190 Canadian dollars, I still think it's a great option, because it then directly competes with companies like Thursday Boots or Thursday Shoes. Of course, they're not a dress company, and their dress series mostly has Blake stitching, not couture welted or hand welted. Maybe some of their shoes um, in the dress series use Goodyear welt, but mostly their boots are Goodyear welted. So you need to consider all these things. That what kind of last is the shoe company using? Is it decent enough to be called a dress shoe? What kind of leather are they using? So they are not using calf leather. I think they're using. I mean, they don't mention it specifically, but I still think it's not calf leather. Thursday boots are not using calf leather. Calf leather is supposed to be more expensive than the bovine or cow leather. That's why I feel like, and all dress shoes should have calf leather. You need to understand that. So whenever any company which says that they have leather on it, you need to know which leather is it. Just like when you go to Gomila, they say that it's calf leather. And their shoe does kind of reflect that. It might be because of the reflection and the shine on the shoe, but again, I haven't experienced those. I don't know what quality of calf leather is it and that kind of stuff. But at least they know that they have to use calf leather on the dress shoes, right? So this guy uses calf leather on dress shoes. Not all of them. I mean, you have to tell him. You have to ask him. And sometimes they have. He also says that he has a leather which is between the calf and the cow. It's like a bit more mature calf, you can say, which is available in Pakistan. That kind of leather. So I mean, yeah, you can double check. And is it worth it for $250? I still think it is. Is it justifiable at $190? 100%. So if you want something which is good looking and decent and well constructed and nice, I think for 190 Canadian dollars including tax, this is a great shoe. And I highly encourage people who are living abroad to place orders for this one, because technically, I mean, it's a great shoe. I mean, there is of course, I think that there is a lot of space for improvement, and I do think that the shoemaker for this company should look into his competitors, which include Indian shoemakers as well, because they're exporting at an international level to US and Europe. So, I mean, given the guy's skill on this, like the stitching, you can see on this one, right? The stitching is very much aligned. So I mean, the finishing is really good on this. So the skill level is probably 8 or 9 by 10. The execution is great. Of course, it's an individual shoemaker. It's handmade. It's not a machine-made shoe, so they're not going to be perfect at that level of like the top-notch artisanal kind of bespoke shoemakers. It's not maybe at that level at this point, but I still think that this guy has what it takes to become that kind of person. So the shoe is overall very good. I did not have a chance to wear it, honestly. I might make another video for this specific shoe after wearing this. But yeah, basically what I want to say is it's worth it. I am really happy with the shoes. Comparing it to, of course, like brands like Viborg and Grandstones because they make sturdier boots, and their shoes are also like that. So the dress shoes are obviously not going to be of similar construction because you see that they're softer. They're not supposed to be soft, to be honest. So when people say, especially in Pakistan, hey, the shoe is so soft, look, it's so flexible, this is not a flex, right? Some people do think it's a flex. It's not a flex. The shoe needs to be having a good construction. It needs to be firm, right? Um, so when they say it's too flexible, I wouldn't like bet on it. I mean, to be a good quality shoe. That's wrong information. So yeah, this is a bit too, you can say, too soft for my taste. Even if it's a dress shoe, the Allen Edmonds, maybe it's American made, that's why it's a bit sturdy, but it's firm. The only time when I can comment on this shoe's quality 100% is when I might be ordering a TLB Mayoka. It's a Spanish-made brand. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly, but its shoes are considered like top notch right now with the lowest price you can get, the best value out there in dress shoes. It's Spanish, so I'm thinking of ordering something from there, and only then because they're like true dress shoe makers in Spain. So once I get that shoe, then I will be able to compare head on with this one. Of course, I mean there are going to be a lot of differences, but the especially with I want to compare the firmness, the that kind of stuff, because that's an actual dress brand. So this guy apparently knows a lot about dress shoes and stuff. So I mean that's why I can't. I'm not an expert. I'm just like reviewing the shoe. Maybe I'm saying things wrong about this shoe. Maybe it's better than what I think it is. But again, from my own perspective, getting into the shoe stuff and using brands, American-made brands, and now moving towards dressier brands, dressier shoes. I think that this is the most dressy shoe I have owned, maybe after the Allen Edmonds. So I'm gonna wear this. I'm gonna see how it holds up in my feet, and do I feel comfortable in it or not? And but apparently it looks promising. The last is amazing, and the shape is beautiful. My only little complaint is the leather is not picking up the backs super well, and it's not giving that glossy look. That's my only issue with this shoe right now. But given the price point, they're giving you original calf leather. I mean, it's still a win, because it's still gonna last pretty decent. But anyways, yeah, this is my review on this shoe, and now I'm gonna tell you the company which made this shoe. It's Patina PK. It's you can say a bespoke shoemaker. It's one guy, I think he makes these shoes handmade, made to order. So I would definitely say give him a try. Definitely, it's worth it. And if you like the shoe, go ahead. I would definitely say get one pair from him, right? So you can understand shoes and stuff like that, and then see how it is. I gave my order online. I gave him the measurements online, and the shoe fits perfectly well. But I still think it's a little bit like tighter. But I don't know. It's maybe because it's just two laces and it needs to be like a loafer kind of thing. That's why it's a little bit snug. I think you should go. I think it's in Islamabad. You should go there. You should try shoes on, and then you should order something like this, right? And for the leather, because I wasn't there in person, so I mean that's why maybe I'm not convinced enough by the leather itself. But I think if you're there on spot, then you can select your own leather. What kind of shoe do you want? But I still think from a Pakistani shoemaker, this is the first one I've tried. It's amazing to see somebody doing Japanese hand welt in Pakistan. I mean, that's amazing, right? And I highly encourage everyone to try out this brand, because and encourage our Pakistani people to get into shoes and stuff and look into brands which are actually like enthusiast level brands. So I think that the taste needs to develop in Pakistan. People are into shoes and stuff, but I don't think they understand shoes as much. as people in the West. So I think this guy at least is bringing that kind of awareness and that kind of like knowledge to the table. He is very well aware when you talk to him about any of the stuff about relating to shoes and stuff. Like he knows everything, the clicking and leather quality and this kind of that kind of stuff. So I mean that's the best part. You can at least talk to him about whatever you want and stuff. I did not have a chance to like talk to him about like things which I kind of like found that could be improved. Did not have that time to like go message him and then ask him. I will do that. But definitely this brand has potential. I think that if you're going with him, you are expecting something better in your next orders, and I definitely think you should give it a try.